In this episode, we leave Union Island, our first stop in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and we set sail to Tobago Cays Marine Park, where we enjoy one of the most beautiful snorkeling spots. First, this is me, Kim. There is Bart, and here is Liz, our little explorer. We sold everything to explore these beautiful places with our tiny 33-foot sailboat, Tranquillity. Last week we faced some bad luck again and I was done with sailing. But when the emotion was gone, I realized I still feel so lucky to visit and enjoy all these places. St. Vincent and the Grenadines are part of the Commonwealth of Nations. St. Vincent is the biggest island, and then you have the Grenadines, which are the smaller islands in this area, like Union Island where we are, or Tobago Cays. Tomorrow we want to leave for Tobago Cays. In this marine park there are no facilities like water.
Water is always an issue because we don't have a water maker, but Sailing Ava has a water maker on board and they had to run their water maker, so they invited me to get some water from them. That's how cruises help each other. They're helpful friends. Yeah.
Filled up with fresh water.
This is our way of life, but we don't want to miss out on touristic spots.
We think you cannot leave Union Island without a visit to Happy Island, a man-made island. It is a bar built on a foundation of discarded conch shells by Yanti Ramash. The empty conch shells were a litter problem on the beaches of Union Island. Yanti found a way to use them.
We're leaving Union Island today. It's a 4.7 nautical mile trip to the Tobago Cays. So we're gonna hoist anchor and leave this place. Probably we've not seen much on Union Island because we're a little bit in a... well, we do not have that much time, but that's a surprise we will tell you all about later on. But it means we want to see Tobago Cays, so that's where we're gonna go first, and that's why we are spending a little bit less time here on Union Island. The city was very nice though, a lot of music. We got lucky over there. When does my luck runs out with these camera shit? Woo! Yeah, it's crazy. What? It's quite stupid to put it on the yeah. Lesson learned. Found out we have a leak when we are sailing close hold in rough weather. We think it's leaking near the anchor windlass. Maybe one screw, or we don't know yet. So we pull back our so only the mattresses. We pull back our topper so that won't get wet, and I'll try to see where the leak is. So I'll put some tissue around there and see if it gets wet. So it's dry now, and if it's wet afterwards, we know there's a leak around this area. So we have to see if that's the case.
Everything is set for departure. Time to hoist the anchor. We hoist the anchor with the electric winds. When it's loose from the ground, we give a little bit of speed, keep the anchor just in the water to make it clean. When the soil is gone, we hoist it on the bow and fasten it with a bolt.
Today it's a very small sail. We need to get out of the reef in between Palm Islands, and we're sailing north to the Tobago Cays. That's where we want to be. You can see it's a horseshoe reef, so it's well protected, and it should be paradise with a lot of marine life. We're gonna enter here, and then we'll see if we can anchor or take a mooring ball, because they have mooring balls and it's a national park, so anchoring is not everywhere allowed. So let's see where we can get.
We just hoisted our sails with a triple reef in it. It's closed home. We have 16 knots of breeze with gusting up to 18. The sea state is quite flat actually. Agree? Yeah. It's quite easy going. And because of the wind direction, we need to tack 2 times to get there. We just made our first tack and we found out that the current is quite against us, so tagging along the way isn't optimal, so we decided to roll in the Genoa and start motor sailing. Because with 3 knots of speed we are not getting anywhere for our feeling. Of course you get somewhere. So motor sailing it is again.
On the charts, you can see Navionics is saying there is a current going in that direction. That's why we leave at this time. But as you can see on the yellow line, those tack lines are not common with the current on this direction. And we notice it by our speed through water is higher than our SOG, speed over ground. So it means that the current is against us and not with us. So that's strange, but it can happen. So we could not make enough speed. So this is motor sailing. And here you see the tacks. They're too sharp. So after today's, we've got some big waves crashing over us. So let's see what we have here. This looks dry. Alright. We still don't know if there's a leak. There's some crashing waves coming over. But here it's dry. Strange.
We still don't know where the leakage is coming from. To be continued. We go out for dinner at one of the barbecue restaurants on the beach. By then we didn't know there were more than one restaurant. We had dinner at Big Mama Barbecue and it was so tasty and good. Tobago Cays Marine Park consists of 5 uninhabited islands surrounded by a clear blue lagoon. It is famous for the sea turtles and the coral reef. We are really excited to get into the water and have a look around.
It's calling me, like the rainbow, like the rainbow. It's calling me, like the rainbow, the rainbow.
So what happens if you're sailing in the Caribbean? You've met a lot of sailors along the way and you meet up in places. So here at the Tobago Cays we are still with Sailing Eva, and Heron joined us today. So they invited us to come over, and they're making pizza, we're making some other food, and we have a nice night out, I guess.
Bart made one of our favorite snacks, a wrap with tuna melt. We had a lovely dinner and a night to remember.
Last night we were on another boat, just having a drink, and we heard a noise. So I went over with my dinghy to our own boat, and the motorboat that was in front of us, they dragged anchor, or I don't know what happened, but they were bumping against our bow, with the dinghy on one side of the anchor chain and the boat on the other side of the anchor chain. It seems to me that they could not think properly on what to do, because they were trying to move the boat around my chain, but they could easily loosen their dinghy and be gone. So when I cut my knife to cut the ropes, they just got loose. I think damage is not that much, so that's good. We're gonna inspect now what happened. After that we just had a look on what the boat did. I wanted to speak to them today about last night what happened, but because they re-anchored and they took like 2 hours. Well, that's a bit much, but they were busy like for 1 hour to re-anchor. Every boat was on lookout because they were motoring back and forth, not doing very much. It looks a bit strange, so might be a little bit too much booze in the game. But it's your house, you know, our boat. So it's it doesn't feel okay. Might look as minor damage to you, but it is a job. I mean, this one came loose, so I have to reorganize this one. I hope it still works. Well, there are some rests of the other boat, I guess. So that will be very nice for him as well. All in all, I don't see much strange things other than paint of the other boat on our bow roller. This one is new. This is some minor stuff. I think we are okay. It's minor damage. It's time effort, so I have to reset the navigation light. That was just unscrewed, but it still works. But that needs to become apart, recalking, and then put it on again. So that's time. And on the side of the boat there's a bit of a like a chafing spot. So that means a little bit of sanding, polishing, and waxing again. So that's a lot of time consuming. So it's not very nice, but there's no structural damage or anything.
We were really lucky and happy that there is not much damage, and we can still enjoy this beautiful place.
Het is een vogel. Of een toekan of een meeuw.
Een vogel.
Wat is die kleine? Komt ook gewoon op het roer.
Let's enjoy the beach for one more day before we head further up north. In the next episode, we visit Kanuan before we head to our final destination in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
A little bit of downside of this.
Well, this was it. If you have any questions, please let us know.
And for now, goodbye and thank you very much for watching. Fair winds to you all.